All right. So last question is from Mook Allen. And he says, seeing that a lot of star players in the WNBA are having to go overseas to make real money, and the NBA is losing money from the league, do you see any way to save it? I think they should lower the rims, even though women would hate it.
No, you can't lower the rims.
Nope.
I think what you need to do is you need to put a better product on the floor. That's it. You just have to keep, and it might just be a matter of time. Uh, it might be a matter of coaching. I don't know, because I would even say women's college basketball is a better product. Now it's school, but it is. I've watched more women's college basketball in the past few years than women's NBA, WNBA basketball.
Mhm.
So they need to put a better product on the floor at all costs.
Yeah.
That's
You
really it.
know,
And I don't think lowering the rims is the issue.
yeah, I don't think lowering the rims is right either. I don't think because here's my philosophy about everything basketball related, and this goes to video games, and this goes to everything. Always obey basketball.
Hmm.
Always, always obey basketball. Never do anything that sacrifices the integrity of the game. Right. So that's my always my rule. And I don't think that I think lowering the rims would do that. Here's the thing. You can't make people like stuff they don't like. And it's really just that simple, right? If mounds of people do not enjoy watching women's basketball. They just don't. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with you or something wrong with the game or something wrong with the product. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means that people don't want to see it. It means people like seeing basketball that is played in a style that we haven't seen women play it in yet, which means they want to see people jumping, dunking regularly, and that kind of of a style that is not prevalent in women's basketball. That really is the point, and I think that's something that a lot of people don't want to say because it feels like you don't want to sound chauvinistic or whatever. But I don't think it's chauvinistic. I think it's just truth, and the truth is being played out in the numbers. This is why it's struggling. This is why the popularity isn't there. And sometimes I get a little bit put off by some of the campaigns that go on with some of even the NBA. Like almost like you're getting bullied into watching the WNBA, and if you
I
don't watch it, then you're not a real basketball fan, or you don't da da da. You can't tell anybody what to like.
I got a question for you.
Mhm.
What are the top five sports in America first, and then in the world second?
I would say the top five.
Overall viewership.
I would say top five sports in America from overall viewership is basketball first. Now, football second. I would say that it's between MMA and baseball, which is third. And whichever one isn't third is fourth. And then I'd say it's between soccer and boxing and hockey
Okay.
that are probably
So I'm curious where tennis falls in all of that, and golf.
in America. I don't think here's the thing, because in America, I don't think a vast amount of Americans get into tennis unless
Mhm.
there's a compelling story related to an American.
Yeah. Okay.
And
So
with golf, if Tiger's not in the hunt, the
right.
viewership drops drastically.
I agreed on all points. So here's the thing. Not mentioned on that list is esports. And the thing about esports is esports, you don't have to consider it a sport if you want to, if you don't want to. But in terms of people spending hours
Hmm.
watching competition,
Hmm.
it is on that list somewhere. I don't know where.
Yeah.
I know Overwatch League is probably pretty competitive on a week by week basis with the MLB because they get hundreds of thousands of concurrent viewers for their
Hmm.
entire stream every single time, no matter who's playing.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That
Hmm.
doesn't include replays, that doesn't include YouTube stuff. This is hundreds of thousands of people for long streams. So this is legitimate competition now because you're talking about millions of viewers a week.
Yeah.
for just regular. That's like a regular season baseball
Now,
game.
we didn't throw in the WWE, which obviously is not in my opinion,
I
it's not
don't
a sport.
include WWE because it's not competition.
It's not a sport. I mean, it's a
Well,
competition.
it's not.
It's just not a sport because you can't have a scripted ending and call it a sport. It's just over.
Well, that's
It's a
what I mean.
yeah.
They're not competing for victory in the show,
Hmm.
right?
Right. No, they're not.
They're
They're competing
competitive,
for something else that is their own competition backstage type of
which
thing.
is similar to way other forms of entertainment compete against each other,
It is. It is.
right?
It's like competing for ratings between two sitcoms.
Correct. It's not a competitive event.
No.
Whereas esports is largely made up of competitive events.
Hmm.
Even Fortnite is competitive while it's happening, right?
Yeah.
So you're talking about Overwatch, Apex Legends, Fortnite, all of these things. These are all competitive events that people are tuning into. The WNBA is so far behind esports. It's
Oh,
not
it's
even
not
funny.
even funny. It's not even close, man.
Not even close.
Not even
And
close.
because you're competing for watch hours, and like competitive energy is relatively the same across the board. And if you think that is not your competition, you are making a serious mistake. Because you talk about young women, are there more young women watching streamers play Fortnite and Overwatch, or more young women watching the WNBA? Because that's your demographic.
I think you might be either even or in favor of esports.
I would be inclined to agree. So that's what I'm saying. They have to put a more compelling product out somehow, some way.
But see, here's my thing. Here's the flexibility that you have with esports to a degree, right? There's presentation things and all these types of packaging that you can do with esports that will augment the presentation and make it flat out more entertaining. At the end of the day, basketball is basketball. And this is what it is. I mean, you can flip 16 different camera angles. You can, do a zoom cam. You can do a lot of different stuff. But if you look at it like this, if you go on YouTube right now, right, and you look at the video that says 10 best dunks of NBA in the NBA in the 2018-19 season, and you look at how many views that has, then look up 10 best jump shots from the NBA season from the 2018-19 season. I almost promise you the dunk video has more views by a lot. And that might sound like an oversimplification of the concept, but it really isn't. People watch basketball to see people do things that 97% of the world could never imagine themselves doing. Now, here's a truth point. 97% of the world can't do what the girls are doing either, but they think they can.
I would in
From a skill
basketball.
right from a skill level standpoint, like
You mean 90?
95% of the world can't shoot like Diana Taurasi. They can't. I
Well,
mean,
the thing is, it's about playing basketball though. So when you talk about how far down in levels of men's basketball do you think you have to go before you find men that can't win the WNBA championship?
oh, I mean, dude, um, if Eric Bledsoe was in the WNBA, he'd average 80 points and 45 rebounds.
I mean, what would LaMelo Ball average? What would
LaMelo
LiAngelo Ball average?
LaMelo
Like,
Ball would average 40 points a game, probably.
so the issue is, but the thing about all of that is that those are all levels of competition.
Mhm.
So the NBA is a level of competition. When the world basketball stuff is happening, that's a level of competition. College is a level.
Mhm.
High school is a level. AAU stuff is a level. Big Three is a level.
Yeah.
Right. Because
Mhm.
they're new, but they're probably doing better than WNBA at this point, right?
I don't know.
So
Yeah, maybe. But
so
then again, they don't have the same level of expectations.
right. But point being is how far down in levels do you go before you get to the WNBA? Because it is about levels of competition.
Yeah,
And
see,
so they're
you know, it's
competing.
so it's. I want to call out something that somebody's saying. Like, so Jason Battles in the chat, he's saying that Cappy Pondexter will give Lamelo, and Leangelo buckets. What I think you're not acknowledging is the impact of size and strength
100%.
when somebody
Well, and
when somebody's guarding
this is
somebody, right?
data. A
This is
team of
not this.
15-year-old
And
boys.
this is not even about being a woman or anything. This, if it was a guy, Cappy Pondexter size. Okay, Cappy Pondexter is 5'9". Okay, and she's 36 years old. 5'9", 36 years old. There are hardly no 5'9" guys in the world who are even on a high level who are going to just destroy. So are you saying that Cappy Pondexter is better than Isaiah Thomas, the little, the newer Isaiah Thomas? I mean,
Or current Nate Robinson.
or current Nate Robinson. So Cappy Pondexter is better than Nate Robinson. And so you're telling me, because that's how good she's got to be, if you're telling me she's going to give LaMelo buckets. You know, because that's her size. That's her size. She's 5'9". You know, and so I just feel like sometimes we want to
Well,
dance
here's the thing. Just to
around.
clarify, this isn't opinion. We have data on this, and this data is used to improve women's sports. So when women's college teams, there's several of them that practice with walk-ons from college campus, not Division I, not Division II, not Division III, just guys who are going to class, and they have them come into scrimmage with them, just athletic guys, normal guys you see at the park, and they give them a run. And they've told you, like, you can literally find female professional coaches and basketball players saying this. Like, yeah, we practice with the guys on campus because at the end of the day, the fourth worst guys in basketball on the entire campus are better than the second worst female players we can get to practice with us. I forgot which team it was. It was like a 15-year-old team of high school boys beat like the World's Cup of women in like soccer or something like that. Like, the difference in size and athleticism is just that big. It's just
Yeah,
the
I
way
mean,
it is.
dude, LaMelo Ball is 6'5". He's 6'5" and he's 18 years old, which
Isn't
means
he taller than that? I thought he started sprouting even taller than that.
he might be bigger than that now. He might be bigger than that. He's 6'5".
Yeah.
Dude, do you realize how big of a height advantage 6'5" is over 5'9"? And I hope we're not talking about a one-on-one.
Yeah, in
Because
the
if we're talking about,
WNBA, he's a power forward.
dude, I mean, he's the same height as Lisa Leslie.
Yeah, like literally, if he was in the WNBA,
So
he was the fastest, highest jumping,
this
best dribbling, shooting power forward in WNBA history. Like,
right. So let's put this into and now let's put this into perspective. Cappy Pondexter is a Chicago native, and y'all know how I am about Chicago people. I've actually
little
met
biased.
I've met Cappy Pondexter. She is awesome. She's awesome. But we gotta be real. Okay, we gotta be real here. Cappy Pondexter was never even the best player in the WNBA. She was never even the best player in the WNBA. Like, her best season is the '08 season, where she played 32 games and averaged 21 points a game, 4 assists. That's probably her best season. Okay, that was with Phoenix. So you're telling me that a top 15 player, not even a top 5, top 15 player in the WNBA is better than LaMelo Ball?
Well, let's reverse it. Let's reverse teams. It's like, so he's saying if you put LaMelo Ball on her team, they would have less success in a direct trade. And if you put her on the Spire High School basketball team, they would have more success. I don't believe that to be true.
I think that's, and he just said, you telling me a high school dude is better than a professional WNBA player? Zion Williamson was in high school last year.
Yeah.
Can we end this conversation now? Can we end it? RJ Barrett was in high school last year.
Yeah.
And you mean to tell me that Zion Williamson, RJ Barrett in the WNBA wouldn't cause more rule changes than Will Chamberlain? Come on, man. This is ridiculous. I don't know. You must you must have every lady in your family watching with you, right now. and you trying to make sure that you sound a certain kind of way. But this is insane. This is insane.
Again, y'all can look for the story. 15-year-old boys soccer team, which is not even completing puberty, beat like a World Cup level female team. Like that's the disparity is really big. Like it's really big.
It's big. This is not even a conversation. This is worse than regular Ray. I mean, this is worse than regular Ray. This is what this is. This is just like, yeah, come on, man. You know, I love women. They are so awesome in every way they perform. But Cappy Pondexter will get served by LaMelo Ball and every other top level high school male basketball player. She's too little. You'd be better off talking about Brittany Griner or somebody with some size. At 5'9", she's gonna get smashed.
Well, again, he's 6'5" and 180 pounds. Like,
right. I mean, he weighs more than
massive. Her. That's like massive in the WNBA.
Right. He weighs more than her, and he's taller than her. Yeah, I mean, come on. This is not even. Yeah, this is not even. So, but yeah, I don't think. To me, the game is what it is. You either like it or you don't. I happen to like the WNBA action. I like it. I
actually do enjoy the WNBA.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy it for what it is. I don't ask it to be more than it is.
Well, this is why I said they need to improve the product, because when the WNBA is at its very best, I find myself saying, if it was always like this and it had better surrounding stuff, I would watch it.
Yeah.
But there's other times you can watch WNBA games and be like, I can't watch this right now.
Yeah, I mean, like I watch it and I appreciate it for what it is. I don't, but see, I'm a crazy basketball fan. Like I love it in all kinds of ways. Like I coached little kids for like the last 3 or 4 years. And I'm talking about little kids kicking the ball out of bounds more than they shooting it. I coach them, you know what I'm saying? And I love it and I get into it and I don't expect, and not saying that those kids are on par with WNBA.
Right.
Obviously, it's a big deal. But what I say that to say, I appreciate basketball in all forms, on all levels, but I don't have to pretend that one is equal to the other for any reason. For any reason, I don't have to do that, and you can't compare a guard in the WNBA to a guard in men's high school or college basketball. The size difference is different. Brittany Griner is not a guard, but if she was in the NBA, she might have to be.
Well, and this is what my point is, that if you go online and you look up WNBA highlights and how many views they have, and you look up LaMelo Ball highlights and how many views they have, this is your competition from a viewership standpoint. That's why it matters. That's why I brought that up. I didn't bring it up to compare men and women in sports. Again, that's data. If you don't believe that high school boys can compete with professional women, do the research, come back to me and see what you find out, if there's any data to support what I'm saying. That's not the discussion we're having. The discussion we're having is that there's so many levels you have to go below before you stop competing with people in your own sport. So you can't beat the NBA in their viewership. Like, there are very few people who would watch a women's basketball game, a WNBA game, over an NBA game, right? Not even a high-stakes NBA game. Most people would rather watch a regular season NBA game than the WNBA finals. That's not my opinion. That's what the data says.
Right.
So then you go to college. The same thing holds up. Then you start going to high school. And the thing is, because of the demographics that you're competing for, when it comes to young boys who are heavily sports viewers, you're losing in that realm. So you have to get women at that point to support your product. And you look at what women are watching, particularly when it comes to watching competition, which is why I brought up esports.
Right.
You see, so you go down the ladder of competition and you look at your demographic and how they measure up in each point, and you have to say, okay, where can we get guys watching this of different ages? When can we get women watching this of different ages? And you have to see what else they're watching. This is what the WNBA has, the puzzle that they have to solve to get their products, and that's to get their situation rectified. And that's why I say they have to improve the product, because I think women's tennis is a better product than the WNBA. Women's
Much better.
WWE is a better
Well,
product.
I think it's
Women's
better.
MMA is a better product.
Yeah, I think it's better just simply because more people find it, more people find more. You can still see what people tune in to watch tennis for.
Yeah,
You can still see it without a major separation between the two games.
right. There's not the disparity of like dunking. I think the same is true with fight. So, for instance, I don't watch a whole lot of Bellator, right? I watch a lot of female mixed martial arts in the UFC and sometimes other divisions too, right? Like I was aware of McFarlane before, she moved over to One Championship and stuff like that. So when it comes to two women in an octagon, the disparity doesn't go as far down in levels in terms of entertainment value, right? I really enjoy watching, what's her name? The champion right now, who just won?
Jessica.
Not Andrade.
Shevchenko.
I'm talking about all of them. I like watching all of them fight.
Oh, Amanda, you're talking about.
I was about Amanda Nunes. That was an interesting combat sports event. When I look at basketball, if I were to hold it to the same criteria, and I was to hold the WNBA up to all forms of basketball, like literally just the other day, I watched this Drew League game between James Harden and Kobe Bryant. It's an old game, right? Awesome. It's all they're just dueling, going back and forth. Kobe's having a ton of fun. He's dunking on James. James is crossing Kobe up. They're just going. It's high competition. They're going back and forth. To me, that was and it's a YouTube video with a silly beat in the background. It was a more entertaining product as a basketball fan. And I feel the same way about women's college basketball. For some reason I can't put my finger on it. It's a better product. Maybe it's the college atmosphere meshes well with that. Maybe that adds to it. I don't know what it is, but the WNBA is one of the worst basketball products you can watch all the way down, literally to the street ball level. And again, that's not personal opinion. That's what the numbers are showing. So they have to improve their product.
Yeah, I mean, I inclined to agree with the concept, but I just don't think it exists. Improving it in this particular. See, because here's the thing: I don't think there's anything wrong with the product right now. I don't. I like it. I like the WNBA. I enjoy watching the games. For me, there's nothing missing from it for what it is. I like the NBA better. I like the NBA better. I like men's college basketball better. But I don't think that they need to quote unquote fix it. I think it is what it is. People like it who like it. People don't like it, because I think any other thing that they start trying to do with the game starts to get to a point where now you're messing with basketball.
Well, I'm not talking about that kind of stuff, like moving the 3-point line or changing the ball. Although I do think they should play with a men's ball. I've always thought that because every woman I ever knew grew up playing with a men's ball. I never understood why professional women play with a smaller ball. But that having been said, I'm not talking about changing the rules. I'm talking about changing the product. Like there's an entertainment product beyond just the basketball playing. Although I do think sometimes the games get a little too shoddy. But when you watch the environment of the college game, it's like a big college event happening. You know what I mean? So you're watching UConn or Tennessee, and I feel the history and the rivalry and all that stuff. Sometimes I watch a WNBA game, and it feels like two rando teams playing each other. And when I think of even the coach personalities, the way they're brought to the forefront in college, that's a natural structure of college, right? The coach is there for a long time, so their personalities usually carry the identity of the school. You look at other sports in MMA, I can tell you, I can quote Chris Cyborg. I can quote Amanda Nunes, right? I can talk about things Ronda Rousey has said in the past, things that, Rose said after her press conference. Like their personalities are in the forefront. I can't think of the last 3 interesting things a WNBA personality has said, period.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I mean by the product needs to improve. Their personalities aren't enough to the forefront. The rivalries aren't enough to the forefront between the coaches and the teams.
Honestly, man, I totally think that they're interesting people. And like Maya Moore is a fascinating person to me. Like she really is.
Sure.
You know, me and her and I, we have,
Oh,
you
I
know,
think they have
right.
personalities. I just don't think they're in the product.
But no, I think the reason why they're not in the product is because there isn't a widespread interest, because they're saying things. It's just that if a tree falls in the forest and nobody's around, does it make a sound? And I think that's kind of what's going on. They're saying things, they're showing their personalities, but nobody's paying attention. I like Maya Moore. She and I have more in common probably than a ton of players in the NBA, a ton of them. You know what I mean? Like she's just a dope individual, right? I had a opportunity to speak to Tamika Catchings, and like, dude, some of the stuff that she had to overcome, her story is freaking amazing. It is. It's really amazing, but it's a WNBA story, and to be honest, people don't care, bro. They just don't care. And you can't make them care. You can't make them care. They don't. And I don't think that there's a way to necessarily do that. Like, because these stories are there. They're out there. It's just that the people like the game is the women's game is a very pure game. It's a very fundamental game in most cases, right? In most cases, there are some games, like you said, that can get a little ragged, and sometimes those games get ragged. I think it's because of the athleticism deficit, right? Because a lot of times there's a pass that a more athletic athlete will keep in bounds, keep the play moving. But in women's basketball, the athletes are shorter and less athletic in that way, in a natural athleticism play, so you don't see the same type of play. But that doesn't bother me. Like, it doesn't. It like, because I'm watching it because I know what I'm watching and I'm cool with it. You know what I mean? But I just don't think there's a lot of people that are cool with it. You know, and I think that that's where that disconnect ends up coming in. So,
Yeah, I disagree. I mean, I don't disagree in the sense that I think you're wrong about that element of it. I do think that there are people who want it to be something that it's not, but I also think that the product itself, the presentation, the way the athletes are marketed in other areas, I don't think that they have a hold of it the way other female sports have a hold of it, the way other women's sports have a
well,
hold of
see,
it.
I think that there's more money in those sports, and I think that that's why. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's more money being invested in women's tennis.
Well, I'm talking about even from a factor of looking at when you look at any sporting event, there's a part of you that goes, "Oh, that looks cool. Oh, that looks interesting."
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're not into it, right? You go, "This is interesting," right? I don't feel like the WNBA has that right now. I don't think it looks interesting compared to other sporting events.
Like, for me, for what some of the coolest stuff that I see is, I love just watching Maya Moore play. Her skill level is insane, and her smoothness on the court is she's and y'all gonna laugh at me. Y'all y'all gonna laugh at me when I say this, but her game reminds me a lot of Ray Allen. You know,
Oh
like
Lord. Well, I you know what though? I thought you was gonna say Derrick Rose, and
no,
I was
no,
just
no,
about to
no. It's not
close this
possible.
window.
It's not possible. It's not. It's not. But her game reminds me a little bit of Ray Allen. She's so freaking smooth, right?
Mhm.
She's super smooth.
Yeah.